I'm Kayla Ogden.
And I'm Rachel Sear.
And this is Write Your Heart Out.
Hello.
Hi, we're here, and guess what? We are relevant today.
We are. We are on top of current events.
Yes, the current event that we speak of is the new publication of Jeanette McCurdy's first fiction novel called Half His Age.
Yes.
It just came out.
We read Jeanette McCurdy's first book together with our book group, the one which was called I'm Glad My Mom's Dead, which is her memoir,
yeah.
Yeah, memoir about her life growing up in the spotlight and the abuse that she endured from her mom growing up. And that book was great.
Oh,
so,
my God, it was amazing.
I mean, and I learned so much about her. You know, hearing about her eating disorder was really incredible. She brought a lot up that I'm sure she needed to, say out loud, to herself, to everybody.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jeanette McCurdy's upbringing was really, really horrible.
Yeah.
Her mother encouraging her to have an eating disorder.
Right. Right alongside her. Like, she wanted to be like buddies in the eating disorder.
Yeah. And they were also Mormon. And so she was put under all of this other pressure to be like pure and perfect. And for a long time, I think Jeanette McCurdy admired her mother and really, really wanted to gain her favor and always be on her good side and be the breadwinner and be perfect and everything. And it sounds like it took her a really long time to sort of climb out of that and become her own person. And it sounded kind of like it didn't really truly happen for her until her mother died.
Yes. Right.
So that was the memoir, which I revisited a little bit today, just in preparation for this, because this book, Half His Age, there's some talk about, so obviously Half His Age, it's a May-December relationship book, a big age gap book.
Do you want to read the back of it so that
Sure.
it gives the little synopsis for people?
Yeah.
And we'll try not to give spoilers throughout. I mean, or should we?
We usually spoil.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's just spoil it. Begonia style.
Okay.
Okay. But we'll start with this little synopsis.
Yeah. Waldo is ravenous, horny, blunt, naive, wise, impulsive, lonely, angry, forceful, hurting, perceptive, endlessly wanting. And the thing she wants most of all, Mr. Corgi, her creative writing teacher, with the wife and the kid and the mortgage and the bills, with the dead dreams and the atrophied looks and the growing paunch. She doesn't know why she wants him. Is it his passion, his life experience, the fact that he knows books and films and things she doesn't? Or is it purer than that, rooted in their unlikely connection, their kindred spirits, the similar filter with which each take in the world around them? Or perhaps it's just enough that he sees her when no one else does. Startlingly perceptive, mordantly funny, and keenly poignant, Half His Age is a rich character study of a yearning 17-year-old who disregards all obstacles or attempts to overcome them in her effort to be seen, to be desired, and to be loved. So, yeah, this is really good back copy. It really feels like Jeanette wrote this herself.
It does.
Because she's really big with these lists, listing in her sentences. But I guess the reason why I revisited I'm Glad My Mom Died today was because there's been a lot of talk of that she based this on her age gap relationship.
I thought about that as I was reading it, and perhaps that's the case. But I felt like it wasn't.
Right. I was sort of reading this interview with her for Interview Magazine. Sofia Coppola is interviewing her about this. And the title of the article is something like Jeanette McCurdy remakes or reinvents the age gap novel, because Jeanette's looking at it from the girl's point of view.
Sure.
Whereas in Lolita, I think his name's Humphreys.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's definitely his point of view.
Ew. And I don't know, even in My Dark Vanessa, it's a woman's point of view, but she owns it much less. It's so much more like a predator and prey, whereas in this, it's definitely different. We can talk about that.
Sure.
But anyways, I went to the chapters that it says described her, Jeanette's actual relationship, because in the Sofia Coppola interview, you can just tell when you're reading it that Sofia Coppola was tasked with like one thing in this interview, and it was to get Jennette to talk about her own age gap relationship
Sure.
in this interview,
Yeah.
and to tell us that it's based on it. You know, like that's kind of what a lot of people I think want to know.
Sure.
And Jennette is so eloquent, and she doesn't, in the interview, she doesn't exactly say, you know, no comment or like, can we move on or fuck off with that? She says, yes, I did, but this book isn't really about that. This book is about desire. Or she keeps saying that the book isn't really about the age gap relationship, when to me, it is, and it is called Half His Age.
Yeah, it's all about the relationship.
Yeah, and it's like, if it's not about that, then somebody must have made her call this book Half His Age, because that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The title of the book is The Age Gap. But she sort of like is saying that the book is about, you know, other things. And then finally, it's funny, Sofia Coppola just says, listen, I don't want to pry, but did you have a relationship with a large age gap with a guy that was 12 years older than you when you were 18? And she was like, yes, I did.
Yeah.
But this isn't really about that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to sleuth this up myself. And it turns out she did totally write about it anyways in her memoir, which she could have said in chapters like 44 and 45, I guess. It's kind of talking about her and this guy. So she was a child actress on iCarly, somebody who was like a script advisor or something like that. I was just sleuthing the hell out of this.
Yeah, I remember her talking about it in the memoir.
What she says in the memoir is that like her and her age gap relationship, she was Mormon and she didn't know anything, and she didn't have sex with him. Like, as far as I got in when I was revisiting, to the point where they were together for a year, at least for that year, all she did was give him blowjobs. And she recounts the first time. This episode, by the way, is going to be super explicit and disgusting.
Yes.
So if you don't want to hear disgusting things,
turn it off.
You have to. Anyways.
Yeah, agreed.
Or turn it off. So he says he breaks up with his girlfriend. He's all drunk and sad. And he's like, you won't even have sex with me. And then he's like, won't you just give me a blowjob? And she's like, I don't want to do that. And then he's like, whoa, this was such a big mistake. And then she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Right.
And then she said, like, he leaned back on the bed as though he didn't really want to do it anymore, but I guess, okay, fine, go for it. He takes out his dick and she looks at it and she's just staring at it. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? I've never done this before. She's like, I'm an actress. Like, I need direction. And he just kind of scoffed and rolled his eyes. And he's like, you just suck my dick. And then she said that she just did her best. And then he said, I'm going to finish. And she's like, okay, like, that sounds good. And then he finishes in her mouth and she's surprised by it and she spits it out on the bedspread and she's like, what was that?
Oh, baby.
And he's like, it's cum. And she's like, what's cum? And then she said he like rolled over and hugged his pillow and he said like, I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, right. I remember that in the book.
Yeah. Because he's like, you're too young for me. And he's like doing this like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
remember,
very
like,
different.
Licking it like a lollipop. Like, she legitimately didn't know what to do.
Didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So that's very different from the character in this book. This book, the teenager named Waldo is already experienced when she gets a crush.
She's had like multiple sexual partners.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
3.
2. Yeah, 3. 2 or 3.
It begins with Waldo having sort of a mediocre sexual experience with a boy her age. And yeah, just feeling like there was no passion there.
Yeah.
And like she didn't really feel anything and she didn't care about it. Breaking up with the boy and just being like, oh, that was easy, and just walking away.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she like sees this teacher and like gets feelings she's never had looking at another guy.
Major feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this whole... and she, I mean, if there's going to be a predator-prey situation in this one, it's more her being the predator.
Yeah.
Which is such a mind fuck, right? Because there's still the power dynamic of it being a teacher. There's, you know, all of those things. But it's like legitimately her, like, if the tables were turned and it was a young person and she was the older one, it would be so predatory.
Yeah. So in the book, she's 15. In Jeanette's real life, she was 18 when she hooked up with her superior at work in Hollywood. Waldo is 15, and it's her creative writing teacher who kind of sees something in her, you know?
Right.
And when Waldo reads her dark poetry, the teacher, Mr. Corgi, which is such a funny name.
It was so funny.
It's like, so he sort of praises her, and it's like he really sees her. And then he invites her over to his house for dinner, but it's like his wife invites her. He's
Right.
like, I was telling my wife that I had a student with a lot of promise. Do you want to come over for dinner? So she does. And that's when you get the kind of first whiff of like them maybe looking at each other across the table. Later on, his wife's out of town, and for some reason they're texting, which I don't understand how they got to texting.
She gave him her phone number
About the dinner,
About
to
the dinner.
connect over dinner maybe and schedule that.
Yeah, but then he was drunk. He was like, drunkenly, because she said that she felt something after that dinner. And he was like, you're my student. Like, absolutely not. And he like cut it off at the pass, exactly how you would hope a teacher would.
Yeah.
And then she really was, I want this. And he's like, you don't know what you want. You're a kid.
Yeah.
And then he was drunk one night while his wife was out of town. And then she's like, do you want to go for a walk? And he was like,
Right.
absolutely not. Like, no, this is not appropriate. But then,
And then she kisses him, and he's like, oh my God, you kissed me.
right.
And then he's very much like trying to stay away from her, or he takes a couple weeks off work because his mom is dying. And then when he comes back, she's in his classroom snooping around, like literally, I think sitting in his chair and like sniffing his shit. She's obsessed. Like
Yeah.
the character is so obsessed with him. She can't stop thinking about him. And he comes in there, and then she ends up like sitting on his lap and like humping his brains out.
Yeah, right.
Like not having sex, right? Just like dry humping
Yeah,
him.
right. Yep.
And he like splooges in his pants. And so she is definitely the predator. She's pursuing him hardcore. Like you can really sense from the story that she's telling and her wanting to do one that's flipping this whole trope on its head, that Waldo is the pursuer. And you don't really see this grooming like you do in other books like My Dark Vanessa or Lolita or whatever.
Yeah.
However, like McCurdy also talks about how she was trying to write plot. She wanted the scenes to have no judgment. So she didn't want it to feel like you were prescribing, you were saying, this is how you're supposed to feel about this. And she said that she wanted to go behind the mind of the Corgi character as well. And how does he justify it? So you can see all throughout the way that he is justifying these things to himself and scrambling. But the seduction that happens, like if you really think about it, if an attractive 15-year-old child who's post-pubescent and whatever, you have some kind of like connection with them, starts trying to seduce you and hump you and stuff, it's like that child has mental problems.
Absolutely.
Like there's a reason that they're rubbing their body on you.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it has something to do with a fucked up like childhood, which is really, really sad.
Yeah. So circling back to fucked up childhood, which she does have, this character Waldo has a very she's the product of a relationship that was not, love, which, is neither here nor there, I suppose. However, her father's absent. So her mom's a love addict, and Waldo is always second tier to everything that's not sex or love related for her mom. And I think it's really interesting how Jennette shows her coping mechanisms. Like she's like overshop, like she binge shops and like will fill up cart after cart on online shopping. And whether she orders it or not, she's like getting this rush of like filling carts and, or like being so desperate for any sort of attention. I think Jennette does a great job of showing this traumatized kid in all of these different facets.
Oh, yeah. She, in the book, her mother's journey is sort of parallel to Waldo's journey in a sense. Like
Sure,
you see, and this book, I didn't have to suspend my disbelief like at all. Like I know that it's a fake thing that Jennette made up, but everything feels true and earned.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Like, I remember when I was younger, I was talking to someone and talking about my quote unquote anxiety disorder and all these different times that I feel anxious and stuff. And she was saying, okay, like that maybe you have a disorder, maybe you have some kind of chemical imbalance in your brain. By the way, this was like 20 years ago, so probably the science has changed and we think differently about these things now. But this person was saying to me, or it might just be that in the house that you grew up in, someone was modeling that stress and to you, like
Sure.
the reaction of stress to all these like everyday little things. And then later in life, I realized that whenever it's time for me to go out the door, you know, like they say that children have a hard time with transitions.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I kind of, like a child, maybe have a little bit of a hard time with transitions, and that my mom does too. Like, I watch my mom when we're about to leave the house, and she's literally like sweating. She's like running around my house like she's lost her keys, she's lost her wallet. Everything is a nightmare. Everything is, oh my God, it's all this rushing around. She's bringing everybody into her anxiety, into her like tornado of, it's like we're literally just stepping outside to go for a walk. Like it's like that. And then I watch myself doing it to my family.
Interesting.
And my hypnotist lady that I have now, she was telling me the other day, she's like, you know, most rushing is just made up.
Oh, I would agree with that. Although I can't subscribe to it because I'm such a freaking nutcase. But I would agree. Rushing is made up. Time is fucking made up.
Yeah, it's so wild when you start thinking that rushing is made up, because you're like, oh, I have to go and grab this from the other room right now. I have to run over there. It's like you're saving 30 seconds by running and freaking out and freaking everybody else out. That those don't matter. And if you show up 5 minutes late to something, what's the bad thing that's going to happen? You're not going to feel worse than you do when you're rushing around your house sweating and making everybody, being a nightmare to everybody.
Yeah.
Like your own reality that you're creating is worse than the outcome if you're late. Anyways, all that to say, I really think that we take on so much more from our parents than we could ever realize.
Yes, definitely.
And if your mother had this sex and love addiction and was, you know, the mother in this book is often telling Waldo, the character, you got to look your best for a man, and it doesn't matter what you think looks hot. It only matters what your man thinks is sexy. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just telling the truth. And she's always telling her daughter, you know, the quote unquote truth about how to get a man, how to keep a man.
Yep.
As though that were the most important thing in the world. But even if a mother wasn't outright saying it, just if she's living her life that way, it's going to get passed down to your children unless somehow it's interrupted or there's like a high chance. So I think she's really shown how Waldo got this way.
Yes, and in multiple layers. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, multiple layers.
Yeah.
Then what did you think about the writing?
I thought it was so I listened to it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I just got this in the mail. I'm holding it's like a soft copy, but it has really big words. I think this is for old people.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it said
it's
extra
a
large
print. Oops. I got it from bookshop.org, which just to virtue signal a little bit now, if you order from bookshop.org, it takes a little longer, but it supports local booksellers and bookstores.
I love that. Thank you. Say it again.
Bookshop.org. That's where I order my books now instead of Amazon. It takes a little longer, but you're supporting little brick and mortar booksellers and shops and stuff.
Good to know. I will buy my books from there because, I mean, I guess I listen to them on Audible, which is Amazon.
Where else can we listen?
Right?
I don't even know. I do Audible too. I just
well,
don't know.
A bunch of women in our book group use Libby, which I could just like get on board with Libby.
Oh yeah,
right?
but then you don't own them; you rent them, right?
Well, yeah, but like, why do I need to own an audiobook? I don't need to. So
we could do that.
okay. We're gonna make some strides in being, better white women. So anyway, the writing. So listening to it, this was my one, I don't have a lot negative to say about this book, but this is the one thing that I felt like was a little bit rough, was listening to her read it.
Okay.
I do wish that it was somebody else who narrated it, because while Jeanette McCurdy's voice and cadence worked really well for her memoir, I felt like it didn't work quite as well for this book. And it felt rushed. It felt rushed a little bit. Like there was, perhaps we were like in, Waldo's head and like in that thought process, which like, when your mind's moving a mile a minute, like it is. So like, I feel like she captured that, but I also felt like there was times in the book that we didn't want to move a mile a minute and her cadence was still that fast.
Yeah.
And so I think that I would have preferred somebody else narrating it, someone who hadn't had it in their head for so long, because I feel like her having had this in her head for so long, as one does when they're writing, I think that came across in how she read it.
Right. It just rolled off the tongue.
Yeah.
She goes really fast.
So I feel like it's kind of hard to speak to the writing because of the fact that I listened to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I noticed too how fast it was. I know that a lot of people actually complain about podcasts and even shows and things or audiobooks being too slow for them. So they listen to them at like 1.3, 1.5.
Sure.
But she was already reading it at like 1.5.
Totally.
And I think that, so when I just threw on her memoir for a minute and was listening to it again, she doesn't read it like that.
She doesn't?
No.
Okay. Because it felt like it was natural to her.
Maybe it was a choice.
Maybe.
Like to do.
Yeah.
But I agree, as somebody who would enjoy like thinking a bit more about the prose and stuff, she was reading so fast, she would just gloss over like huge jokes or like,
totally,
heartbreaking stuff. But you would never get the chance to like, a tear could not be shed because you're just like racing down the
you're
track.
on to the next.
Yeah. So I think that that's a good point.
Okay. So back to the more positive, I liked her writing in the sense that it kept me wanting to listen. I kept wanting to listen,
Yeah.
I thought that, while I can't speak to sentence structure because of her pace,
Yes.
I do think that it was captivating in a way I wanted to keep hearing more. I think that even if I had it in my hands, I would have kept wanting to go.
Yeah.
The story was like riveting in that way. It had a great pace. Like it had a great pace about it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the first sentence.
Okay.
It's bad form to groan when a guy's going down on you. I know that. But right now, it's hard not to. So it's like Waldo, someone's going down on her, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine? When I heard that first line, I was like, what does she mean? Because like during sex, when you're, say, having an orgasm, people, not me, I don't make a peep, but people make all sorts of really crazy noises.
So even with that sentence, I had to like redefine in my head, okay, the difference between groan and moan.
Yeah.
Right?
So you did that too? You had to stop.
Because I was like, groan, like, of course, you should make some, like, wouldn't it be bad form to be silent?
Yeah. Yeah. So it is a cool sentence.
Totally.
And this is crazy to me because just saying something like this about this work, because I listened to her acknowledgments at the end of the book, and how many people went over just
Totally.
knowing what goes into things and how good it is. It's so crazy to even say anything. And especially like the first few pages and the first line, like those have been gone over so many times. So to say, oh, maybe you could have done this is just so stupid. But I think another word other than groan could have been used like scoff or like laugh or like
I'm trying to think of like another word.
Snap in his face or
Can you imagine like
hey, get up here. Or like, just something other than groan, because literally groaning can be groaning of pleasure. I'm sure that's word's been used in a different way. Yeah. So it was almost there, Jennette. You were so close.
But I mean, as far as the first sentence of like, oh, what's happening here? You know, you want to keep going. So
yes.
I feel
So that
like-
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that the writing was good. At first, I was like, oh, does Mr. Corgi have the same voice as Waldo? Because Waldo's voice is very like list 3 things. So it'll be like, I opened my laptop and saw a video of a puppy, a woman getting her brain removed and put into somebody else, and that there's a sale at Target that if you put in your shoes, they get donated to charity. Like there's like 3, you know.
Yes, definitely.
And it just keeps doing that. And then this witty, like breathless, like hilarity, tragic realism.
Yeah, sarcasm, like
sarcastic, like looking observations about the minutia of life, which are, it was such a great voice. And then at first I was like, oh, fuck, Mr. Corgi has the same voice. Is everybody going to have the same voice?
Right.
But then I could see that Mr. Corgi doesn't have the same voice. And her mother doesn't have the same voice, which is really nice. It's nice that the mom has a really distinct voice.
Yeah, the mom had a almost less mature voice.
Yeah,
like
babyish.
Yeah, it was very. I think she again did a good job of showing a stunted woman in her mom.
Yeah, and that can happen with addicts. Like, you can use a substance or anything, you know, sex and love, shopping, whatever it is, to mask your feelings from such a young age that you never end up really feeling your feelings.
Yeah.
And it's hard to grow. Like with some substances, it literally affects the brain so much that you don't develop correctly.
Totally.
But it feels like this woman hasn't developed, you know, she stopped developing at some point and started just focusing all her energy on sex and love.
Yeah. And then I think Mr. Corgi's voice, while she did a good job writing somebody who's kind of dry and pathetic. Like, I feel like towards the end, there's a series of text messages of her and Mr. Corgi texting back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it does a really good job of showing he's just kind of dry and pathetic. Mm-hmm. He's, you know, at this point in deep enough that he's begging, and in a complete, and she does a good job of showing different dialogue styles in the text, in the text message.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. So one thing that I thought was awesome in terms of like theme for this book is Waldo, the character, and like addiction, eating a bag of sour candies, and like they're ripping off your tongue and all this stuff, and just feeling empty afterwards, or filling up the cart. And then when the things come, the second after all the shit that you ordered off of Amazon or Shein or whatever comes, you feel empty again and you need to do it again. And it's all about sort of like the chase and acquiring, but actually having. There's no, dopamine hit or whatever you're after isn't in the having.
Right.
And she does the same thing with Mr. Corgi. She pursues him like an absolute maniac nympho until she gets him. And then when he breaks up with his wife and she has him and kind of like reality sets in, it's not good. It's not good for her. And she doesn't like it. Right. And so she just, maybe we don't spoil the very ending. There's no really reason to, is there?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say that Mr. Corgi buys tickets to take Waldo to Hawaii. And Jeanette McCurdy went to Hawaii with her age gap lover.
You do write what you know a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to take from somewhere.
Got to take it from somewhere, baby.
So I hope she enjoyed that vacation, whether many moons ago.
Yeah. So what did you think? Like, do you want to rate it?
Okay. I would say I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it was good, entertaining. I think that for a first novel, that she did a great job.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that this isn't YA, but it's definite. I don't know. Like, would we read it in our book group? Do you think? I feel like our book group might enjoy it.
Do you think?
I think it's a good conversation book. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on like the morality around writing. I don't know, something like this.
The morality around writing it. No.
Or consuming it, or
No.
yeah.
I think that, like with all art, writing is the same, where you kind of people push boundaries all the time, and this book didn't turn me on. So
never, not once.
Not really. There's a lot of sex scenes in it where I was like, huh. I don't know. The teenager adult thing definitely sat in my head enough that it was like not a turn on for me.
Yeah. I think I would have to read this book. So I listened to it, and like I said, I got the hard copy in my hands. I feel like I would have to read it with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
In order to make this point very well. But sometimes I felt like, how does Waldo know this vocabulary or make these kinds of observations about the world and about people while still being naive about like other things?
You don't have an example?
No, I wish I did. Sometimes it seems like her thoughts are like, well beyond her years. Like 15. Like when you look back on Waldo and her voice and stuff, does that seem 15?
Well, I think that was part of the complexity of her character, because she had to raise her mom pretty much. So from the age of 5, she makes it clear that she kind of had to be the adult in that relationship.
Right.
And so I think that that's kind of the point, was she was supposed to be wise beyond her years in ways that didn't benefit her, and naive in ways that didn't benefit her. She was kind of turned around in which order she was supposed to understand things.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a point in the book where Mr. Corgi says to Waldo, she's saying, oh, maybe this isn't working out. And he goes, oh, well, isn't that convenient? You're a child when you want to leave me, but you're adult enough when you want to seduce me, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. And it is interesting how, a teenager could be mature or seem mature in some areas, but their frontal cortex still isn't completely developed.
Right.
So they don't have the same sense of risk and consequences as somebody else does.
Yeah.
So if they're doing things that could break up your marriage, you're the one who's feeling that tension and the consequence.
Totally.
And they
literally
aren't.
can't.
They literally can't.
Yeah.
And so that's your fucking fault for having a relationship with a 15-year-old.
Okay, so wait, what was your rating? Go back to that.
I would rate this book like a 9.
Oh, 9. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't ever read it again. It's not because it was my favorite thing to read, but I just think that she got the voices so well.
Yeah.
And in her acknowledgments, she's talking about, she's saying thank you to everybody who helped her. And she was talking to people about like, thank you for understanding like my voice. I think that she just really leaned into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was fearless. I thought it wrapped up really well.
It did wrap
I just
up
thought
nicely.
that as from a craft perspective, I think it checked all the boxes. I don't really know, but in my mind, I'm like, that probably had to do with all like the incredible professional support that she's been given. So she was a child star, obviously, right? And she wrote this memoir. And there's lots of child stars who write memoirs, and nobody ever reads them.
Sure.
But she wrote this memoir, and it was really, really gutsy and really gritty and open and amazing. And it had this like really capturing title, and and she ended up being a bestseller because of that, right? So once this came out, you can imagine that the team, there was just a huge team of people that were super invested in making this the best that it could be.
Yeah.
So that she could have a career in this and that everybody could prosper. So I feel like I see that in this. Oh, I have 2 more points to make about this book.
Okay.
1, did you notice the theme stated, the Saves the Cat theme stated in this book?
I mean, probably, but I don't know.
You weren't looking for it?
I wasn't looking for it.
Me neither, but it just jumped out on the page. This is something that I do kind of like look for it now. So we talk about Saves the Cat all the time on Write Your Heart Out, just because we read it and whatever. We think about it sometimes,
Yes.
though neither of us have ever wrote a Save the Cat screenplay or really wrote a Save the Cat.
But I will. I'm gonna.
But Rachel's going to. But anyway, one of the beats in Save the Cat, which is, a paradigm that you use for writing, is theme stated. And the thing is, it's supposed to happen in the first part of the book. It's supposed to be a character who isn't really involved in the book. And...
Oh, is it Franny?
Nope.
Oh.
It's at Victoria's Secret.
Oh, the woman trying on the bra?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And there's a woman trying on the bra. Should I just read it?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so this is the theme stated. This is on page 18 of the large print copy of Half His Age. Waldo, the main character, she works at Victoria's Secret, which I thought was an awesome place for her to work.
Yeah.
And she's helping a customer, and the customer says, "Those skanks at Macy's have been telling me I'm a 36C. Ugh," the woman says with a cheek click. "Gosh, 58 and finally getting my first bra that fits right. Can I compliment you to the manager or somebody?" Once you make the purchase, there's a website at the bottom of the receipt. You can go to that and fill it out. Or not. No pressure. No pressure? Please, hun. Don't go selling yourself short with the no pressure. You hear me? I don't like when women sell themselves short. Bugs the crap out of me. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't go apologizing now. It makes it worse. Selling yourself even shorter, she says. Let me ask you this. Do you know your worth? The question takes me off guard, especially coming from a woman who's standing in front of me topless with fried ends and poor boundaries. Also, I don't know the answer, or even the question, really. What does it mean? How does one know their worth? What constitutes worth? I'm 17 with bad grades. Oh, 17. I live in a 900 square foot apartment with a single mom. Most of the things I ingest are sold in a 7-Eleven. And I know people say worth is a thing you're born with, a thing you just intrinsically have by nature of being a human being, but I'm not so sure. People are too precious about what it means to be human. We're just people. We're just gross little people who shit and fart and fuck, who eat too much dairy and search for meaning in our iPhones and carry at least one undiagnosed mental illness. People who maybe aren't worth much at all. But that all feels like too much to tell her, so I just nod my head and say, yeah, I think I do.
I think that's the perfect theme stated. Yep.
Knowing that you're worth more.
Yep.
And seeing, the truth of what other people are worth and what they're getting from you versus what you're getting from them and what you could be getting.
Way to keep your eye on the prize there.
With the
noticing theme stated, I'm into it.
I know.
Yeah.
So some of that stuff, it's like it almost feels like retroactive.
Sure.
To me, like as a writer and somebody who thinks that she knows how, the sausage is made, is like, oh, Jennette wrote this book and she wrote the story, and then people from Hollywood looked it over and said, ooh, like what if at the beginning someone kind of tells her something, and that could really increase like the theme and whatever. But yeah, I would give it a really good rating, and I think that Jeanette McCurdy is just like the coolest. I started watching a video on YouTube of like Drew Barrymore interviewed her on that show. Uh-huh. This is so silly when I say stuff on the podcast, like I sort of watched half a video, but Drew Barrymore is celibate. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but good for her.
Yeah. She hasn't had a sexual relationship since she had this relationship with this like really hot guy and like years ago.
Okay.
And she was kind of saying to Jennette in the intro of her interview, like that it made her like feel again there in that way. And like, she's like, however old Drew Barrymore is, I'm a 50-year-old woman. I still feel things and I still want for things. And
oh, wow.
I mean, the character in this book really, really wants her teacher. Like, you get into her head of her just, like, salivating. Like, she wants him so bad.
Yeah, but I think that that's just her wanting. She just wants anything at all that will make her feel
Better.
better.
Seen, give her attention, being
Yeah.
there because her mother's never there.
Right. I mean, that's the filling the cart and pressing order on Amazon, like
Yeah.
all of it.
I think if anything comes close to being sort of horny making in this book, it would be the first time they meet in the classroom, because it's really, really charged, right? It's just like,
It is very charged.
just the idea of two people being so horny that they're willing to ruin their whole lives just in this moment, the way that we can get so swept up in that kind of thing. That's what you feel so much with Heated Rivalry, that show.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like it's
Yeah.
all
It's good
about
old
it.
heated rivalry.
Although that one is way less problematic.
Yeah,
The
it's
relationship.
all consenting adults.
All
After
consenting adults there. Another thing that I wanted to say was, like, this is another thing that I spot all the time in books these days, is I feel like there's people are trying to write a scene that will be talked about. It's almost like a clickbait scene.
I could agree with that.
Where
Yep.
everybody's going to say, oh my God, is that the book where, da, da, da. And in Miranda July's book, All Fours, there's this disgusting scene where the man
The tampon.
takes her tampon out with his teeth. I told you this was going to be disgusting. There's also like the scene in Gone Girl where the guy is riding her and then she slits his throat
Yeah,
and
right.
he gushes blood all over her.
Sure, and I can see what you're saying about the clickbait scene. So you feel like there's one of those in this?
Yeah.
You feel like that the classroom scene is the clickbait scene?
No.
Okay, what is it?
When she's on her period.
Oh God, that was gross.
It's like we're
In the closet.
Yeah, we're trying, like, people want to like push a boundary with their work and like say something that hasn't been said before, and in like a risque sexual way. And it's so hard to do that these days when we're almost in like a post sexual shame mode in a
Sure.
lot of ways in
Right.
America, because we can see anything happen on the internet to tickle our fancies, right?
Sure.
Like everything has been done. I've seen Marge Simpson have sex with the diddly do guy next door. You know, like everything, nothing is sacred.
No.
But in this book, what it was her being on her period, and then she gets him to slap her in the face with his stick with her period blood.
Yeah. See, I think that
thing.
was the perfect example of her being like, she just wanted to feel anything. Like she was so desperate to feel something
Yeah.
that she wanted a period blood dick slapped across her face repeatedly.
Yeah. And he's like, are you sure? It's like, no, she's not sure, you fucking asshole. Get her out of there. She's not sure about anything. Yeah, I guess if there were one part that I had to suspend my disbelief with, it would probably be that scene, because this girl's having a heavy flow everywhere, and then the wife comes in and is
Right.
literally on the bed while she's hiding in the closet. Like, she would have put her hand in something sticky, or like he would have it on his face or hands, or like, you know.
Right. He just like wipes it off with a towel, and then she's like, you smell that shit.
Oh, you would smell that
Yeah,
room.
there's
Oh,
no
you
way that I
smell
would
that
walk
room.
into a bedroom and my husband's just like laying on the bed with his
Weirdly.
AirPods in, and I'm like, it smells like sex in here. Like you can smell it. You can, and especially bloody sex. Like you would be able
Yeah.
to smell that. Sorry, Dad. I hope you're not listening.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God, David, this one is not for you. This one is not for you, David.
But I mean, let's be real. He's 70. He knows. All right,
I
Jennette.
thought of more examples of the times when it's like like those shocking, like, oh, you have to read this because it's fucked up. It's the most fucked up thing ever. Or like movies.
Well, I mean, the books that that book we've talked about a million times, The Push. There's that scene at the top of the slide. I think about that all the time.
Oh, there's a scene in this book. Do you want to tell them?
Sure, the little, so the mom isn't sure if she's under like a psychosis kind of where she's the one who's putting these feelings on her child, or if her child's actually like a little spawn of the devil, right? And her daughter's at the top of a slide with another little kid, and then she's talking to the other mom, and can't fully see what happened, but the little boy's at the bottom, not off the slide. He's at the bottom, like he got pushed off the ladder.
And he's saying he was pushed off.
And he was saying he was pushed off. And in her heart of hearts, she knows her daughter did it, but nobody saw it. Ooh, I got the chills. It's so like,
I'm getting the chills too.
It was such a, like, to me, I feel like in that, obviously there's multiple scenes of this maybe devil spawn child, but the one at the top of the slide is the one I think about all the time, especially because we read it when our kids were little, and there's a lot of top of the slides, and I was like, oh no.
Actually, Ashley Audrain wrote another book, The Whispers. I'm glad you brought this up, because this is another example of exactly what I mean, so that was a really great book too, and I can't say how much I love Ashley Audrain's work, but there is a scene in that book where there's people having sex out on the patio, and he comes on her chest, and then she like smears the cum on his chest, and then she writes something on his chest.
That's a lot of cum.
With her fingers. Or maybe she just writes it on his name on her chest and cum on her, and then they look up and her son is watching. But you know what I mean? It's like people are just trying to come up. People are just trying to like come up with like, ooh, what's something in sex that's gonna like gross people out enough that they're gonna like talk about this,
right? Well,
that's never been.
We are in a world where you always have to one up, but I don't know. Also,
whatever.
It's
and creativity.
You also have to write things that haven't been written before. Otherwise, it's all the same shit. So,
and it's really, really brave to write something like that. Like,
sure.
And I'm not being, I don't know, live, laugh, love when I say really, really brave. But, it's like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to bring myself to write something like that, because my mom is going to read it, and Rachel's dad, David, is going to read that shit. Thank you, David. Thank you in advance. You know what I mean? So it's like,
sure. Yeah, you got to be fearless about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right, like no one's reading.
All right. Jennette McCurdy. McCurdy.
Thank you so much, Jeanette McCurdy, for your work. And we hope the next one.
Yeah, I'll read your next book. You write it, baby.
Yeah, we'll keep reading. And we recommend it.
We'd recommend it. We recommend it. If we didn't spoil it so much for you, we recommend it.
Yeah.
So we didn't do our homework, or we did. Homework is being done. However, we're going to save it for our next episode, because our next episode is going to be a story time.
Yep.
We have another person who wrote in.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. He sent in 2 works of prose. And his name is Chris Ritchie. Chris, we're very excited that you wrote to us.
Thank you for writing to us, Chris.
And so we have 2 things to read. And so we will do that next episode.
Yep.
And then we will share our own work where we are practicing change of voice. And
yes.
I did do this, but I think I did it wrong. Although maybe I didn't. So it was a segment that was in first person, and now I've changed it to third person. So I know that I did it slightly right, but I don't think I changed the voice, because it asks us to be like silly and fun with it. But it's a very dark scene. But maybe I did it right, and it's just a dark scene.
Are there more than one characters in the scene?
Yeah.
Do you think you could write it from the other character's point of view instead?
Well, I could.
Because I don't know if you're changing the voice or if you're just changing the point of view.
Well, I definitely just changed the point of view.
But was it also a different voice? Like, did it have a different style?
I don't know.
Voice is a lot about style.
So maybe I'll do it 3 times. Maybe I'll do the piece that I've done where I'm changing it just to third person, and then maybe I'll try again.
Yeah.
Where I'm changing the style or the full-on character.
You should try the character.
Okay.
You don't want to be in the character? Is it a kid?
No, it's not a kid. It's just like a kind of just a shitty situation. It's not a kid. I just don't like, I don't know.
I'm sensing some resistance.
No, there's no resistance. I feel like this was a good homework assignment because I don't really know how to do it. So it's going to take me out of my element.
Awesome.
So also, before we go, which we're going to go in just a second, I dropped my class.
Right. So Rachel had a night class with Tim, who was like her favorite instructor, right?
Yeah, he was a great professor. I'm sorry, not was.
Rest
He
in
is
peace.
still with us. Tim is still with us. He's still teaching the class, and the professor's fantastic. I just cannot hang with 6 to 9. It doesn't work for my family. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You know what? You don't have to.
I don't have to.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I was encouraging her to like try it and everything. Did you go to one?
I did.
You were just like, you know what?
Yeah, and it was a great first class. We talked about this poem that was the same poem we talked about in the first round of the first level of creative writing. And it was kind of fun to talk about it again as the like the elder, quote unquote, in the class who's taken the first round, because the people I was working with had not done this poem before. So like I had a different point of view from them, which was cool.
It was the same as the last one.
The poem was not, I mean, obviously the class is different and different people bring a different vibe. And I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. We'd love to have more time, but we have a lot of things on our plates.
Yeah.
So the time that we commit to our writing and our, creative endeavors is like, you really do have to think about if it's really serving you.
Right.
Or not, because there's a lot of things that you could be doing, right? There's a million things.
Yeah.
So,
And 6 to 9 is like dinner and bedtime. And my husband has to work a little bit later than he used to have to work. And babysitters and
like,
no.
Yeah,
too many things.
No,
too many plates in the air that
yeah.
I don't. I mean, like I'm in such a beautiful place that I don't need to have this class. I don't need to have higher education at this time.
Yeah.
I don't need to have a job. I don't need to.
Yeah. So don't make me.
You don't make me.
Yeah. Fuck off, Tim. You fucker. Stop it.
All right. I love you. See ya. Ciao.
Oh yeah. Love you. See you. Ciao. Come next time for the stories.
Yeah, they'll be good.
And if you read this book, tell us what you thought.
Yeah. Ooh.